there a sense of pride, if that's what it is, by all the history you're making for the culture, not just being a starting Black quarterback in the Super Bowl, but also with your agent, Nicole, being part of the Divine Nine? Is it pride, or what is it that you feel knowing that it means so much for the culture?
Yeah, it's a ton of pride in everything that's going on right now. And I think when you're thrusted into these situations, you're thrusted with these opportunities at hand, you don't really realize the impact you're doing until you reflect on it. And I think to have these opportunities and be able to represent so many different people, greet, people back home in Texas, quarterbacks that maybe they, said they couldn't do some or whatever it is, and just believers. It's something I definitely have on my heart when I'm out there playing. I definitely never forget where I come from, and most importantly, I know that there are kids out there watching. There's always kids out there watching. Kids back in Texas, Philly, Florida, Cali, here in AZ, wherever it is, it's always a kid out there watching. And I heard someone say, I don't know if it was Michael Jordan or Kobe, but sometimes you get families and kids that save up all their money just to go to that one game. Just to go to that one game. They may not ever get to see you play in person again, so we definitely want to put on a show for them when they come.
Natalie, no last name, didn't just come to the Super Bowl. She's taking up space here at the Super Bowl. That's what they say, right? Taking up space? Like announcing her presence with authority out here, right, asking thoughtful questions and getting thoughtful answers from your quarterback of your Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Well done.
Thank you.
Way to represent.
He doesn't know he's my quarterback, though. I remain
professional.
No,
you remain professional.
That was good.
Well done.
Natalie, first time. It's your first time here. You are, it's honors night. You are up. You're the winner for Media Newcomer of the Year. You got it.
Thank you.
You got it. I mean, it's such a good question and a thoughtful response. I've never, nobody's asked Jalen Hurts a question like that. It's dangerous to say nobody's doing, but I haven't heard. I'll say it that way. I haven't heard anybody ask him that type of question, and I haven't heard that patient, measured response. And measured, I don't say in a negative way. It was really a good response from Jalen Hurts. What'd you think?
Yeah, I was nervous before I asked.
You didn't sound like it.
And it was the last question, so I was happy, that I got fit in. So I wanted to just make sure I asked something good, and I didn't hear anyone ask that, but it was something I really wanted to know, and I know it does mean a lot to people. So I asked, and thankfully it seemed like he was receptive to it. He smiled. He took a lot of time to answer it. Like, he seemed appreciative of the question.
Now, can I just say, so some PR people, though, I just got to, and it ain't personal, but I feel like the PR person, to my ear, cut him off. I think he had more. Maybe that
he's
was
always
just
got more.
He had
he's
more.
He's a thoughtful dude.
He was like, okay, that's it. Like, wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
Did he say?
Well,
did he look like he was trying to get off the stage? That's how I heard it.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say maybe you got a future in this here business.
I hope so.
We have a lot of questions to ask several guests today about a variety of topics, starting with Patriots superstar pass rusher Matthew Judon.
Hey, cover your ears. Is this on? Y'all see me?
Hey, chest ball, baby. Hey, throw me a pick. Throw me a pick. Oh, me? I'm rushing. Oh, yeah. Leo! What? Okay. All right, you guys turn back.
Go, Leo, go.
Did I win?
No, I won.
How you like it?
I love it, actually.
You do?
I gotta let him catch it. Don't I? He on my team.
Hey, that's why I said we gotta make him feel good.
Y'all know that ain't happen. I ain't never got dunked on in my life. Hey, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. You cheating. Come on, guys, you're making me look bad. Hey, who is this guy? Bro, why y'all throwing that? Why they throwing it at me? Why they throwing it at me? Why was it me that he threw it at?
It's all right.
But
They got to learn the hard way.
But all I do is get sacks and he gonna throw it at me. Come on, man. His first pass in the league was a pick, wasn't it?
Let's go, James. Hey, it's simple, y'all. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Win.
I ain't gonna lie. You should have picked him off again.
Always a smart decision to mic up or GoPro up Matthew Judon. He's a soundbite waiting to happen. He's a walking soundbite. Joining brother from another. It's good to see you, man.
Man, it's good to be seen, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy? How many times have you come out to the Super Bowl? Is this your first Super Bowl week radio row experience?
No, I didn't came out.
Okay.
I think I just got a little bit better, so now I get to sit on stage next year.
There you go.
But I didn't came out to everyone besides Minnesota. I
Okay.
didn't go to Minnesota.
Okay. Well, Matthew, of course, I got a chance to meet and get to know him for my interview series, Gets It. He was very gracious with his time. Always appreciate that. Got a lot of respect for most of your opinions, except for your mac and cheese
Oh,
take.
yeah, man. What's up with
that's
that?
the only thing I got a problem
What was
with.
that
Other
with
than that,
that?
we good. You know?
You gonna revise that opinion a little bit or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna revise it. It's probably the worst side that can be put on the table.
Any meal, not just Thanksgiving. Any meal.
The worst.
All right,
The worst.
but I do.
What's the second worst, real quick? Second worst. There's no even no.
Lobster mac and cheese.
Oh.
Cause now you just disrespecting the lobster.
He quick on his feet. Oh my goodness. All right, but listen, I do respect your takes. You got an opinion on a variety of topics. Biggest sports news of the day. We at the Super Bowl, but we are in Phoenix, the new home of Kevin Durant. What you think of that trade?
You know, Kevin Durant, my boy. Shout out to KD. I just want to see him thrive. So wherever he go, that's where I'm a fan of. You know, so now we in Phoenix. I'm a Phoenix fan. I might go buy a jersey. I know they selling them. They making them right now. So, it's gonna be difficult. I got to see how he does with the team. I think Chris Paul, being the floor general he is, it'll make the game easier for Kevin and Devin. But we gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah, should be
So
fun.
you kind of restrained on that one. I thought you'd say, man, you know, the Suns are the favorites. You're not ready to say that yet, huh?
I think wherever he is, they the favorites. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I'm a KD fan.
Okay.
Big fan. So he always gonna win the championship until they eliminate it. And he should have eliminated. Honestly, he should have eliminated Giannis. His toe was
But
just
what
over
happened?
the line. His toe was just over the line.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
His
Because
toe-
that's my
his
toe.
toe was just over the line.
Because I've been wearing him out about that.
Come on now.
Because it's coming.
it's true.
And don't act like I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Moving on.
This dude right here. No, we're not moving on for a second. This dude right here was the biggest. KD, Harden, Kyrie.
Why wouldn't it work?
They go set records.
Why wouldn't it work?
It's gonna be all.
Who would have thought they played 16 games? They played an NFL season together.
It should have worked. The NBA is such a noun. Like now, they got a jail. They got a jail. Let them figure it out. But they was like, no, we trading them away. Then they got
Ben Simmons.
bench on the Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And now he playing. And now he's
He
playing.
last one standing.
That's what
He
I'm
last
saying.
one standing. Yo,
But,
you just came off your fourth Pro Bowl selection, your first revised Pro Bowl experience. Pro Bowl have been trying to figure out a way to make it more interesting, but I was most interested, and I enjoyed, and we saw a clip of it when we started this segment, I enjoyed watching how much fun you guys seem to be having. It seemed like a really fun experience. Forget about the format and the games or whatever. Like, you guys seem to enjoy one another's company.
You see, yeah, that was kind of the biggest thing. It was like, you was trying to enjoy it, but you also knew you had to put on them pads. You knew you
in
had
previous years.
Yeah, you had to put on them pads and you had to become a different player. Now you don't have to put on those pads. It's not that much physicality into it. Now it's more mental and just using your feet. And so we could enjoy our time much more. And then we all grew up watching those games. We all grew up watching, the bench press, the fastest man, the quarterbacks go out there and do like the skill challenge and throws and all that stuff. We all grew up watching that. And so now that they bringing that back and, making the old new again, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed just seeing it. And then I think as the years come and they continue to do it more, like the games will get better. But, right now there's like, okay, well, let's try this new. And so as it comes and as they do it more, the games will get better. It'll be more competition. They understand how to do it. But this year it was the first one.
Speaking of getting better, you had a Pro Bowl season in 2021. You had a better season. I don't know if you agree with that. Better in 2022. It was just a great year. And before I ask you the question, the celebration, I love the celebration. You've probably been asked that many times.
Yeah. But he won't do it off the field.
I'm not asking you to do it, but just like give us some insight into the making of it. Brandon Marshall right there.
Oh, what's up, B?
I keep telling people, got to shout out Malcolm Crabtree and Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was like, bro, you got to do one celebration and stick with it. It's going to catch on. And so he told me to do that. And then that's what we had came up with, and then I just been swinging it ever since. So it was really Mark Ingram. We got to thank him.
Now see, look, the defense was great. You were a record-setting defense this year. You scored 6-7 touchdowns. It was crazy what the Patriots did. You might say the defense scored more than the offense at times. Come on now. You've
been waiting for that.
You got to give me that one. I had that one in the draft.
Yeah, that one in the draft. Couldn't wait.
But now, what is your assessment? No, it was an experiment. I know Bill's had some experiments that have worked out, but he had a defensive coordinator be an offensive coordinator. Just what's your assessment of what you guys experienced this year or last year?
I think Bill is such a brain and stuff, and he was like, I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of guys together and we gonna figure this thing out. And it didn't work out how he thought it would, and that's just kind of how football goes when you got a guy like him. And so he understood where he kind of the flaws and the letdowns, and I think he went out and got a really good offensive coordinator, and he's going to turn our offense around, and we're going to continue the same and play the same and hold the same defense and standard to our defense, and then we're going to have a really good team.
The Patriots as a franchise are no strangers to Phoenix, into this stadium.
Yeah.
In this event, in this stadium.
Yeah.
How close and how do you close that gap is the New England Patriots franchise to being a participant in this event again, the Super Bowl that is?
I'm going to say I don't know. And I'm going to say for two reasons. I never ever played in the Super Bowl, so I don't know.
Okay.
And then
that's honest and thoughtful on your part. I appreciate that.
And then honestly, you don't know off paper the next year. You got to play them games. Because on paper, usually the teams that look like it, they'll never get there. And so you never know how NFL season going to go. We done seen it. People that came into the year, this an unbeatable team. It's no way. Then one injury happened, another injury happened, a trade happened. We need to get this person in here, and then you don't never see that team again. And so I think you gotta do it by building from the bottom up. It's the draft, the players that you have, the off season, and you just continue to work from there. But I think going back to my first statement, I don't know because I've never been here.
That's fair. That's
you know
real.
what, Matthew, was so crazy. I've known this dude so long. It's like over 20 years. It's almost like 25 years.
Almost 25, yeah.
Almost 25 years. He asked that question. I was about to ask you that. That's what's so nuts. It was like, that's exactly the question I was about to ask you. How much is, speaking of, we got our chemistry. How much does chemistry factor into football? You say you got to play the games. It's a physical game, all that stuff. But chemistry, where does that factor into football, especially for what you do as a defensive player?
I believe chemistry is a huge thing for a team. Like, if you don't have chemistry, you don't have accountability. So when you have chemistry, I can hold you accountable because I know your actions. I know who you are. I know how you move off the field. I know your family. And so when I say this isn't you, I know it's not you because I actually know you. Not this isn't you as a football player. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what's going on. So when I actually hang out with you, we go eat, I talk to your family, you tell me some private stuff, I tell you some private stuff, and we have that chemistry and we have that connection and we back like that, then when you out there and I don't understand what you're doing, I can come to you and I'll be like, hey, instead of us bickering on the sideline, we're not gonna bicker because I'm gonna understand how I gotta approach you. I'm gonna understand what I need to say to you. And that comes with chemistry. And so, like, we got a group text that's always popping. We talk to each other all the time, and we hold each other accountable. It's not like, when we have to go lift weights, it's not like the training staff hounding after people. We talk to each other like, you get this lift in, what we got to do, how is it? And we know the people that lift early, we know the people that lift in the afternoon, after practice, and we know the people that we got to be like, we got to drag along with us.
When do you plan to lift?
Yeah. We know, hey, I'm going in there right now, come on, let's get this out the way. And so when you have that chemistry, I think you can hold each other accountable so much more, and you can speak real. You don't gotta hold your tongue, but you're not fighting with a sword. You're fighting with something dull because you got that chemistry.
Does he get it or what?
Hey, listen,
dude gets it, man.
Hey,
that was one of my favorite interviews in a long time. We had a good time earlier this season. So I love how you said, hey, I don't know how close we are to getting here because I've never gotten here. But you're here, you're just observing the spectacle that is the Super Bowl. But you're always observing, man. You always, calculating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what are you looking to get out of this experience, both professionally and personally, of just being here at the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, it's always just good to get on interviews like this and just kind of talk because that's something I want to do in my later career. And so just meeting the behind-the-scenes people, who does all the productions, who does all the managers, and, they job be 40, 50, 60 years, and when ours be 20, 30, 40.
Yeah.
And so it's just always good to, be like, hey, I'm Matthew Judon, shake their hand, and get that introduction. And just to see the scenes, man, I think the Super Bowl brings everybody out. And it's always a good time, and you can laugh, you can have a drink with somebody that you normally don't get to, because it brings so many people to one city at the same time, and y'all just here to kind of have a good time, but also here to learn and experience something different.
What stood out to you from this atmosphere so far? Just if there's one standout, what would it be?
So far I haven't seen too much. I haven't done it too much, but I'm excited to go see the waste management.
The open,
the golf.
You play a little bit?
I'm starting to get into it, man. I'm high and right, so
okay.
I just got to close that face, and I'll be hitting them straight.
Look at him. It sounds like somebody's taking some lessons.
You got to start. Are you taking lessons?
Yeah. I got a couple of golf pros that be helping me out.
A couple of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm between cities and stuff, so in Massachusetts and then in Dallas.
Well, listen, man. If you ever just want some practice for your post-playing career, 3 to 4 Eastern, Monday through Friday, Peacock, which is NBC Sports Streamer, simulcast on Sirius XM Channel 85. You can get all the run you want, and it's a safe space.
Except this is how we got chemistry, and we hold each other accountable. He said Monday through Friday. This dude don't be here Monday through Friday.
I'll be busy interviewing Matthew
You're
Judon.
lying. Don't lie to Judon.
Matthew,
Don't lie to
what
him.
night were we spending like 4 hours together in Craft Suite? What week was that? What night of the week was that?
Was it Thursday?
No, it wasn't Thursday because I would have been for Amazon, my other gig.
Okay,
but it was like a Tuesday.
All right, it might have been a Tuesday.
My man gave me all kind of time. See, I ain't just taking off. I'm out here working like he doing. He ain't just hit a party. He hit a work.
Right. Yeah. No, but anyway, seriously, anytime.
Open door policy is what we
come
said.
on through.
Right.
We talk about everything.
Yes, sir.
All
right, let's get you a mac and cheese restaurant recommendation. And
no, but what's the best? Oh, we gotta get that real quick for you. What's the best one though? You said the worst one on the table is mac and cheese. We'll go with that. The best one though.
Side dish?
Yeah, best.
Like, at what time?
Let's say
because I'm going dressing is the best. But any other time, sweet potatoes.
There you go. Now we good.
48-yard field goal attempt. Set to go. Snap, ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the game is over, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions!
Man, I tell you, Michael Holley and I were joined by Adam Vinatieri, the most clutch kicker in NFL history, here on behalf of DiGiorno. We'll get to that in a minute. Adam, Michael and I talk all the time. We reference this all the time. Somewhere in that Superdome crowd back at Super Bowl 36 is the auxiliary press area. And Michael and I are sitting right next to each other, as usual, as the ball is coming through the uprights toward us. And safe to say, not only did it change the course of an NFL franchise, the course of NFL history, a certain quarterback who just retired's legacy.
Yeah.
It also changed the course of our careers.
Yeah.
So, good to see you.
Thank you,
sir. Appreciate you.
I was telling Mike, man, I was having a hard time processing it. I was like, Mike, the Patriots just won the Super Bowl, 14-point dogs in that game to the St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams,
And greatest show on turf and all this stuff, and you beat them.
It was, yeah. I mean, what an amazing season in general. I mean, with everything that happened all the way through, and then, being such huge underdogs, nobody really expecting us to win, except for the guys in the locker room. Obviously we believe that Coach Belichick would put a good game plan together, but the guys just believed, and it sounds like a cliche and stuff, but we had to go out there and do it. And who knew? Like nobody expected the Patriots to win 7 more. Like it just like catapulted so much what happened in that franchise for the next 2 decades.
So 48-yard kick, and it was a great kick right down the middle, center cut. How much do you think you had? You had 48. It was easily. I mean, was it 52, 53?
Oh no, I think I had quite a bit more on that one. I mean, the adrenaline was going so much and stuff. I think ultimately, I don't know. It hit the net halfway up. So I don't know what that adds on there, but I just knew when it left my foot. You go out there and it's almost slow-mo. Everything settles down, and Rod Rutledge is talking trash to Dre Bly, and Kenny Walters is yelling at Rod to get set. I remember all the stuff that's going on, but then it just got like quiet and surreal, like almost slow-mo like, and then all of a sudden when it hit my, when I kicked and it hit my foot, and I was like, man, that felt good, right? Like a golf shot, if it's like, oh, that's bad, or like, man, that I didn't even feel the ball on my club. You look up and it's a rocket, right? When I kicked that one, I was like, that felt really good, and I looked up and dead center down the middle, and I'm like, oh my God, so it was pretty awesome.
And I just want to say, I mean, that kick says it all. What was more for you, nerves-wise? Was it the one in the snow against the Raiders?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Or this one?
No. In 24 years of kicks, and there's a few other pretty good ones, but the one in the snow definitely is the one that I'm the most proud of all my kicks, just for sheer difficulty. We're down by 3. If you miss it, you're cleaning out your locker room, and who knows, really, who knows what the dynasty after that looks like after that,
For both franchises.
Correct.
Changed the course of the Raiders franchise, changed the course of the Patriots in NFL history. And, of course, the Patriots. I mean, listen, that one gets underrated.
Yeah,
I mean,
Carolina.
like that was the difference in Super Bowl 38. And, of course, it was a 3-point game to win Super Bowl 39. I mean, and you had 2 Hall of Fame careers with the Colts and the Patriots. But back to the 48-yarder to win the Super Bowl real quick, because we were talking about this as well. Back then, That was not a gimme.
No.
Nowadays, people kicking it from 60.
It's unbelievable.
How has the craft evolved?
I don't even understand it, to be real honest with you. I know when I first got in the league in 1996, if you were 75% on your field goals, you're keeping a job. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now it seems like you got to be over 85%, almost 90% to even be considered to be one of the better ones. And if you're not damn near 95%, you're not even talking about going to the Pro Bowl or something like that, right? But it's amazing to me now to watch these guys. There's 57, 58 yarders kicked every week, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever been about distance. I think it's all because there's lots of guys that got plenty of leg. It's just I think the fact that like it's no longer hey, you know what, for 6 months we play football and then you take 3 months off and then we do a little bit of training. Guys are training year round and they're making sure that they keep their bodies fit and doing all the right stuff to stay strong and healthy and flexible and all that stuff. So it's really impressive to see that, you know, we all make 50-yarders every once in a while, but guys are making upper 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
you know, what Tucker did 2 years ago. I mean, my God, it's crazy what guys are doing now.
When you went to the Colts, as Mike said, you've had 2 Hall of Fame careers. You really have. When you went to the Colts, did you think, okay, indoors, better
Yes,
for me? You were thinking,
absolutely.
So you were definitely thinking that.
Well, you know, it was one of those things, like 2 things. When I never saw free agency until my 10th year in the league. You know, I was franchised and a couple other things like that, story in itself. But I thought about after my 10 years and I became a free agent, I said, I'm definitely picking a warmer weather team, a dome. If I'm going to leave, I'm not going to Buffalo or Cleveland or something. You know, like I did that. I put my time in. Let's find a little spot. And you know, kicking inside when you don't have to worry about wind and rain and all that stuff. It doesn't guarantee anything, but you don't have to overanalyze and overthink. It's a little less stressful, maybe.
And you certainly got good taste in quarterbacks, so we'll get to them in a second.
Right on.
But before we move on any further, you're here with DiGiorno. Tell us about that partnership.
Yeah, they're having an awesome campaign this week. Either of during the game, if there's any field goal or extra point doinked off the upright or crossbar, as long as you go to DiGiornoDunks.com, visit there, sign up for it. Anytime, if anybody hits an upright or crossbar, free pizza. So
that didn't happen too often with you, as I recall.
Well, occasionally, but you know, it
happens
seems
to the best of them.
Yeah, well, for sure. You know, it sems like there's some guys, and it doesn't have to be a doink miss. I mean, hopefully they kiss it off the upright and it goes in. My mind, listen, I don't want to see. I know what it feels like to miss. I don't want those guys to have to feel that either. I'm hoping that they all make all their kicks, but I'm not against if they like kiss it off the upright, so everybody gets free pizza, man. We're all in this thing together.
Free pizza. So let's talk about your quarterbacks, as Mike mentioned. You had Tom Brady, you had Peyton Manning. Both of those guys retired. Tom recently retired. Any surprises? First of all, that Brady we're just talking about his retirement in 2023.
Well, I tell you what, he like the way he took care of his body, the way he did stuff. Like, I mean, he looks younger now than he did when he first started. I mean, he's in better shape to what he eats and how he takes care of his body. I know he's got his guru Alex that does all that stuff. Like, it's really impressive to see a 40-plus-year-old man playing quarterback that is just he does everything right? So I don't think it surprised any of us that he was going to play that long. I think he could play a couple more years if he chose to do that, but I'm happy for him. Hopefully he's going to enjoy. It's going to take him a little while to decompress down and do his thing, but I think it's pretty awesome. I'm happy for him.
Not to embarrass you too much, because you very much a patriot, as we got to know. You are never to like to talk about yourself too much, but you guys could you could be roommates, if you will, in Canton.
I hope so.
Very soon. But kickers traditionally have not gotten, was it Jan Stenerud, Morton Anderson?
Yep, there's just 2 right now, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What would that mean to you?
Means the world. I mean, when I started playing ball, I like anybody, I just want to last for a while and be successful. I never thought I would be the all-time leading scorer. I never thought I'd had the opportunity to play and be a part of 6 Super Bowls and 4 wins. Like those are all just surreal things. And when I started, stacking years together and all that stuff and having some of these moments that we just got done seeing on TV, I'm just blessed to be on great teams with like stud players that I could be a part of. But you still have to make the kick. You still have to put the icing on the cake and all that. So I never really gave myself an opportunity to like have nostalgia and look back and really reminisce on my career until just these last couple of years I've allowed myself to do it.
Yeah.
And hopefully I stacked up enough stuff, to get talked about, and if I make it, I'll be the happiest man in the world.
Well, you're eligible in 25, I want to say, right? So a couple more years. But that title, that doesn't. The object of the game is to score points. We talk about touchdown pass records and who scored the most touchdowns but all-time leading scorer.
It's pretty awesome.
You know what I'm saying? You can put more points on the board than anybody who's ever played this great game. That's a title that I think is because it's a kicker is typically held it.
Right.
It probably doesn't get the amount of attention that it deserves.
Well, but it's bragging rights for sure, and I love it. When I played against Morton a handful of times, and when I was probably year 8, 9, something like that, and Morton was getting toward the end of his career, and I remember 2,000 and some odd points that he had at that time, and I'm like, that's so many points.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, nobody's ever going to touch that.
Yeah.
And I truly I felt that way. Yeah. And I never even really thought about it. I know LeBron was talking about it the other day. He's like, it was never a goal or a thought. I never thought about that I was going to have the opportunity to play that long, to stuck up that many years and that many points to do it, until about 3 years from, I was like, if I stay healthy, I might be, it was never a dream or even a goal of mine, kind of, sort of, until it got close. And then I was like, you know what, I really would like to try to see if we can get this. So, the day that happened, it was just one of those things, I've got so much respect for all these guys that came before me. I appreciate and respect and admire, and I look at all these guys that did it before me, and then to go, you did it with, you did the same, you did this, you know, and that's pretty awesome.
We're talking about the LeBron James of the NFL.
No. I wish I would. No, stop that. Nope. I wish. No.
Adam Vinatieri, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you, man. And we don't just say we appreciate it.
No, we really do.
We really, appreciate it, because I don't know if we're sitting here if not for that right leg of yours.
I appreciate you guys having me on and bringing up the good old days. It makes me feel good, even though I'm old and gray now. It's pretty awesome.
You're still in shape, though. Was always the most in shape kicker.
Always.
It was like, wait, where's the kicker? He blended in with everybody in the locker room. So appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm getting a little bit older. I just love the competition now that we can be in the same conference, and I welcome all that. Get to see him a little bit more, probably playing against Phoenix a lot more, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Everything else in between, I just am glad that he got out of there.
That's what they said about brother Brandon Newman when he left, brother from another. Glad he got out of there. Glad he got up out of there. Got away from Mike Smith.
Oh, my goodness.
Not a stranger to this here family. Brandon Newman, Willie Beeman jersey, everything came dressed for the occasion. Good to see you. Alongside Mike Golic Jr. Together they do the Gojo Pod with Mike Golic Jr., courtesy of DraftKings. Great podcast. I've been a guest on it before. Good to see you both. How y'all doing, fellas?
We're doing good. It's good to see you guys. I said we've had you both on the podcast before, so now we get to combine forces, do it in person. It's good stuff.
Yes.
Togetherness.
Like Voltron, coming together like Voltron.
That way, only a few of us have to talk at a time. You know what I'm saying? We're smart business people as well. We want to make sure we're equitable with our time.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
How about the audacity of that clip coming in? Can we just go back there? How about this dude said, I'm glad he got out. Oh, how did he get out?
Got out of the situation that I helped create.
You created it.
Are we done blaming Kyrie Irving finally, now that KD's out of there too?
I think they all deserve some of the blame.
Okay.
I mean, Kyrie's not blameless.
No, that is like saying, oh, I'm glad you got out of that house I lit on fire.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you made it out safe.
Oh, man, that culture, that dysfunctional culture that we brought to Brooklyn.
That we built.
Man, glad you escaped.
None of this was here before we got here. We created this. No, I mean, I don't know. It's nuts to think about at this point. And for Brooklyn now, how are you ever supposed to convince people that you're capable of doing this again?
I don't think they do this again. I think. Listen.
What is this?
No, I don't think they go out and try to do the superstar big three team up thing again. I think the draft picks they got from Phoenix, that's the only way they're going to build this team.
They said it's Spencer Dinwiddie's team again, damn it.
It is a draft choice organization moving forward.
But what's amazing is that they've done it twice. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
They've done it twice.
What was more disastrous? The Paul Pierce, Kevin Durant, what was more disastrous?
Two different ownership groups, two different basketball ops groups.
Yeah.
And they both said, you know what? I think we'll just mortgage everything for this.
Meanwhile, the Knicks are like,
Man.
I saw shout out to my guy Bailey Carlin, memed it and put the banner up. Beat the Knicks 9 times in the Nets rafters because that's about all they got.
This dude he has clowned me for the last several years.
Oh my God, I love
about
it.
how what is it? More trade requests than
More
series
trade requests
wins.
than series wins.
You couldn't have told me they would play. You could not have told me they would play the equivalent of what used to be an NFL season together. I'm talking about Harden, Durant, and Kyrie. 16 games.
But you
couldn't have told me that.
together.
But isn't it? Don't they have a bad franchise? Don't bad franchises exist? Like, let's not act like the Nets weren't who the Nets were.
See,
like when Jason Kidd left them.
What I'm getting here is like, okay, let me just call you out, Brandon. Let me just call you out.
Please.
You're making excuses. Like, what I hear is like a bubble of excuses. You're just trying to put them in a bubble and blaming everybody else. It's a bad franchise. It's the environment. It's my mama and daddy. No, it's not. It's them. Blame them. Go ahead, say it.
Well, I didn't agree with James Harden joining the group. I did not. I think that really just took him.
That threw him off. It was hard.
They should have just focused on, the Slim Reaper and, Kyrie, one of the best dribblers, performers that we've ever seen. I'm excited for him to go to the Mavericks because I think he's going to continue to extend his value and then get that big contract somewhere else. Hopefully with the Lakers.
Miss you.
I mean,
hopefully with the Lakers.
I miss you so much.
Do you hear the delusion here? This is, I think, where it all stems from. If we're going to psychoanalyze this, it's him hoping that Kyrie Irving can continue to play down his value enough to where the Lakers can get him for a bargain by the time that LeBron is trying to re-up here. That seems like where all roads lead to is you just want to make this more convenient for you on the back end.
Listen, I've been very critical of Rob Pelinka and Jenny Buss, the whole front office over there. They just traded a Pat Beverly for a Bobo. I think they're doing something over there. I think they're doing something.
Yeah, no, listen, so Mo Bamba, Pat Bev gone. They got rid of Russ finally. The Russell Westbrook error is finally over. But we got all these jokes. We get all these jokes off.
Yeah, it's fun.
How about the Suns, though? We can say all you want about whether KD can build a franchise. CP3, they got KD without giving up much of anything.
I did a hit with Altitude Sports over there. The Denver folks shook right now.
Yeah.
Who have been sitting there in the 1 seed
Thinking
all year
it was
long.
their year.
Jamal Murray finally staying healthy for long enough. They've got this core. They think it's theirs. And people are legitimately shook. A Suns team that we know already has a finals appearance in recent memory.
Yeah.
Now added. The biggest concern for me with them is injury. Yeah. Chris Paul, who's been chronically injured down the stretch of the season.
Yeah.
KD's coming off it right now.
They look great on paper.
Yes.
But is that the only place we're going to see him is on paper?
I mean, Kevin Durant's had a lot of look great on paper in his career outside of Golden State. So that's my big concern with them. But my God.
Yeah.
The scoring on that team.
Yeah.
And Monty Williams is still that dude. Like, I think Tibbs stole that Coach of the Year title from him. And I don't know what the pieces have, but the West is wide open.
Oh, you think it's wide open?
I think it's, yes, this is.
I mean, it feels like it's theirs to win now.
The top is solidified, but that muddy water in the middle, I think this is going to clarify things a little bit.
The reason I'm not going to say it's theirs to win is because the trade happened in February.
Right.
Okay. If they had if we're talking all training camp, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But they're still.
Kevin Durant's kind of an easy guy, I feel like, though, to integrate in an offense because when in doubt, it's like, hey, that guy can go get a bucket.
He can get his. Like,
and when you get to the postseason, you just need bucket getters at certain junctures.
But okay, how does that affect Devin Booker?
Well, I mean, listen, KD's still an off-ball guy. Like, understand Devin Booker kind of in the same boat, but I think you've got guys, even in a positionless basketball world, that do all fit on the court together, and it's just that understanding. The thing they're going to have to work through now is all of the normal end-of-game stuff that we talk about where, hey, Devin Booker might have been used to being the guy that can pop up shots or try and go get it down the stretch. You got to understand that you're not, like, we've been on this thing where Devin Booker's been right on the cusp of being a superstar, that postseason run. There's levels to this. It's KD's world now on that team, and there's got to be that recognition.
Meanwhile, y'all got D'Angelo Russell, so it's all good. You know, you guys,
I like
y'all may make the play-in tournament.
No, it's better than that. It's better than that.
It can be. It has the potential to be better than that.
Oh, you don't think so?
But I just don't think that Kevin Durant is escalating his teammates. Like, we haven't seen him do that in the way. Like, obviously LeBron used to do that.
This is the problem. The problem is he was over there in the waiting area talking to Natalie. So your successor, we should say.
Yes.
We almost out of time with you guys. Just listen, man. So proud of you. Good to see you. We appreciate all you did to get this show where it is, wherever that is, you got us here.
Hey,
Thank you for the hours that you poured into this show. But would love to just know how you guys are doing, man. How's it coming? Y'all chemistry is not a question. Y'all go back to Notre Dame. How's the podcast coming? How are you guys getting along? Because we like to think of y'all as a cooler, younger, better-looking version than us.
I think we're just a heavier version of you guys, like sheer mass.
I don't know about that.
It's after this week, it's anybody's guess. But no, it's been great. I mean, getting to be out here in person this week also and get to hang around with each other. It feels like we're back in that locker room mode over there in the bunker. It's been an awesome week here, and we're excited, man, to get to tap back in and learn who we are professionally right now. I know Brandon Newman in a lot of ways, but coworker has been a new one we got to add to the list this year. So we're trying to just get like you guys and make the relationship keep working.
Yeah, it's been whiplash for me. The last time I was here, this time last year, was with the show, with Brother from Another, and got a chance to meet with Mike, and this opportunity happened. And we're still in year one. We got a lot of learning to do, but it's been fun growing with him and getting those reps in. And at this point in time, I know who I am, and I know I'm not, and I'm trying to stick in my lane.
There you go, man. That's good stuff, man.
And we only fought once this week.
Yeah. Oh, what was that over? Real quick.
Brandon was too good for the media food at NFL opening night. He said the tacos in the buffet line had been picked over and were out in the air, so he made me take him to Culver's after instead.
Oh, he had an attitude because he had to drive me somewhere when he was already giving me a ride. I felt like, I don't know. I was befuddled, honestly.
You were hungry.
You were hungry, man.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
That's just listen.
Right.
It's like old people watching a young couple. Oh yeah, we know what that's like.
You guys will get through it. Don't worry.
Oh, we know what that's like.
Stay together.
Yeah.
Work through it.
Keep praying.
Family that prays together stays together. Appreciate you, fellas, man. Good to see y'all.
Thank you, guys.
I love you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Roger. Jim Trotter, NFL Media. You and other league officials have said that the league's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion extend beyond the sidelines and beyond the front offices and is applied to all aspects of the company. I've worked in NFL media for 5 years. During those 5 years, we have never had a black person in senior management in our newsroom. That's a problem because we cover a league who, according to league data, the player population is 60 to 70% black, which means that there is no one who looks like these players at the table when decisions are being made about how they are covered. More concerning is that for a year plus now, we have never had a full-time black employee on the news desk, which again is a problem because we cover a league whose player population is 60 to 70% black according to league data. I asked you about these things last year, and what you told me is that the league had fallen short and you were going to review all of your policies and practices to try and improve this. And yet a year later, nothing has changed. You know, James Baldwin once said that I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. And so I would ask you as an employee, when are we in the newsroom going to have a black person in senior management, and when will we have a full-time black employee on the news desk?
Well, Jim, I am not in charge of the newsroom, so I think can I answer your question? As you point out, it's the same question you asked last year. And we did go back, and we have reviewed everything we've been doing across the league. And we are looking at everything from vendors that we're working with, to partners that we're working with, to ownership where we've seen significant changes in diversity just this year. And I'm not specific, do not know specifically about the media business. We'll check in again with our people, but I am comfortable that we made significant progress across the league. I can't answer the specific questions. Some of the data you may have raised there may be accurate, maybe not. Last year I was told some of it wasn't. We'll get to you on that. We want to make progress across the board, and that includes in the media room. And so those are things that we'll continue to look at and hopefully make real progress to. I can't answer because I do not know specifically what those numbers are today.
If I could invoke James Baldwin myself, Jim, how long do you want me to wait for your progress?
Ooh.
How long should we wait for your progress?
You know that would have been the follow-up.
Oh, man. Listen, honestly, brother, that's no surprise to anybody that knows you and has followed your work. To me, that was an example of, I work with you, not for you. I may be Jim Trotter of NFL Media, but we work together. I don't answer to you. I answer to a higher calling. So props for holding this league to account as you always have throughout your distinguished career. I guess my question for you would be, what has been the fallout, follow-up, however you want to describe it, since you asked Roger again about their so-called progress on the diversity front, specifically with NFL media. Any behind-the-scenes conversations that have taken place since yesterday?
Yeah, you know, the biggest disappointment from asking that question this year as well as a year ago is that no one from the league office has reached out to me to even have a conversation about it. And so I think subconsciously what I was hoping a year ago in asking that question is that someone from the league would say, you know what, let's have a conversation to see if somehow we can dialogue and come up with a plan to make this better. Haven't heard from anyone over the last 12 months. And after yesterday, still did not hear from anyone. And look, the reality is here, one of the reasons I asked that question is because I believe that if you are going to say diversity, equity, and inclusion are core principles of the NFL, then your actions should reflect that. And the other reason I ask it is, look, I understand I'm getting older, so I don't know how much longer I'll be in this game, but there are a lot of young people who want to ask that question and can't for fear of losing their job or facing some sort of retribution. I don't want to be fired, but if you want to fire me for asking those sorts of questions or asking the league to be accountable, then fire me. I'm okay with that. I'll find another job, I'll move on, whatever.
Amen.
But the reality is, I believe strongly that if you are going to hold yourself up to be one thing, then be that thing. And the other point here is too, and I've expressed this to some in the league office, is that the NFL is so popular, the most popular sport in this country, if not the world. I genuinely believe that there is a social contract between the NFL and the public. And I believe that the NFL can do a lot of good in terms of addressing with some of the ills that affect our society. And so when it talks about these things being important, then damn it, I'm going to ask you about it, because I too believe that it's important. And if we are going to make change, you can be a driving force in terms of change. And other businesses and corporations can look to you to see how you do your business and hopefully follow suit.
I love watching that clip, Jim. And when Roger Goodell started to answer, you were going to say something else. He said, "Can I answer your question?" What were you going to say that prevented you from saying?
After he hit you with the "I just work here" thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, what it was is when he said, essentially, I don't manage the newsroom, I was going to say to him, yes, you do. New York sets our budget. We answer to New York. And so from that standpoint, you are the commissioner of the league, so you are over all of that. It's funny that he says that he doesn't understand or he's not aware of some of the media stuff, and yet he kept spitting out numbers about Amazon and streaming platforms and this, that, and the other. Well, let's take care of our business first, in-house. And look, I don't like asking those questions. I really don't.
You do it well.
Why not?
I mean,
Why don't you like asking those questions?
Because I don't want them to be present.
Okay.
Right, you don't want them to be an
Okay,
issue.
but, but I'm glad you asked those questions.
No, absolutely. If they need to be asked, I'm going to ask, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
My hope is that we move past that.
Right.
And we can focus on doing the work and doing good.
Yeah.
So, a lot. This, Michael, you and I have talked about this as people who teach at a university level. The one thing I was always taught about journalism coming out of Howard was the reporter should never be the story. And so it makes me uncomfortable that all these people come to me and say, man, I'm glad you did this and want to hold me up, because that's not what we get into this business for. Right? And so I am a little uncomfortable with it, but at the same time I say I have made a pledge to myself and a promise to myself that in whatever years I have left in this business, I am going to give a voice to the voiceless as best I can.
Yeah.
And if that means asking questions like that to people who are in power, so be it.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Speaking truth to power.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what this business
I go back
is
to the beginning. I
business.
can't believe that somebody, and understand what I mean when I say this, even if just for the sake of optics or placating, somebody should have been like, hey, let's talk.
Right.
Let's get a meeting on the books.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if they're really not going to do anything about it, they haven't in the last year, why would you not say, hey, Jim, let's add to your responsibilities. You be a consultant in this area. Help us get better. Why nobody has followed up with you?
Where should we look? Who should we talk
something,
to?
Something.
Where do we start?
Because clearly he doesn't like being asked those questions because he doesn't know how to handle them.
Right.
So like, hey, Jim, I'll follow up with you after this. Let's talk.
Well,
you know,
the answer to that is you have to truly want change.
Exactly.
And
Speaking
so
of,
inaction leads me to believe or to question whether or not you really want change.
I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. Another person who spoke yesterday, Demora Smith, that made some headlines, and this is in the same buckety of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but in terms of the perspective of the player, the combine is under a lot of scrutiny right now.
Right.
It's been a conversation behind closed doors with Troy Vincent and NFL owners that's been contentious. Yesterday, Demora Smith talked about whether or not there's a usefulness to the combine beyond driving NFL player prospect value down from a draft standpoint and a medical standpoint. What kind of conversations have you been a part of behind the scenes when it comes to whether or not the combine is still viable or whether it's antiquated?
This has been a conversation with Demora Smith from very early on in his tenureship as the executive director of the Players Association. So he is not coming to this new. He has been saying this for some time. And the fact that Troy Vincent would say what he said to owners gives credence to this, that maybe it's time to reevaluate this. Look, we all know the most important thing about the combine are the medicals and the interviews, right? So beyond that, I've never felt comfortable with them parading guys around basically in their underwear for the public and whatnot. How many times have we seen that Brady photo of him at the combine? I just think it's unfair to these guys, and it sort of dehumanizes them when you do something like that. And then to bring fans in and look, so for me, I would be fine if they said no more combine. We'll have our medicals. You know, you can have your team interviews when you bring players in for visits or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
you know the problem now? Going back to the NFL media, now it's a television event. It used to be, now they're making too much money off of it. You know,
a lot.
Yeah. So
it's everything they have is an opportunity to monetize something.
All the way down to media night.
I mean, even like the thing yesterday was very underrated. Like Monday night, Thursday night, flexing out. So you're not really looking out for the fans in that situation. Let's say you got a game. You go into a Monday night game, and then all of a sudden, nope, it's not even the same day.
Yeah.
It's a Monday night game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now you got something different to worry about.
And not for nothing, the attire, brother.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Billy D. Williams of our business, man.
Listen,
I've been saying. Ain't nobody, don't let the smooth taste fool you.
You look like Baldwin yesterday.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Appreciate you, Trotter. The regular host of this show, Jim Trotter.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.